How we doing, guys? Happy Easter. Welcome to Thursday Night Live with your boy JH. Hope you're all having an amazing Thursday so far, and it's pretty interesting. We are closing in now on the end of the first 90-day cycle of 2018. So this live tonight might come at the perfect time for you. If you're a little bit like me, you're really goal driven, and you're pretty amazing at spinning plates. So hey guys, how you doing? Thanks for jumping on. I'm not going to waste too much time saying hello. I'll just say a big hello now, and we'll say goodbye at the end. So yeah, if you're pretty much like me, you probably spin a lot of plates. I've definitely got better at this over my years building businesses and being an entrepreneur. But one thing I would say is, when I was kind of slow paced and not really getting where I wanted to be, is I was spinning a lot of plates. I was building business in the nooks and crannies of the day, which will work to a certain extent and take you so far. And to be honest with you, when I was building in the magic of part-time, a lot of this was built 10 minutes here, 20 minutes there, in between personal training clients. If clients were running late, that'd give me an extra 5 minutes. So I'd always use my time wisely, because I know that you'll never ever get that time back. So you might have started the first 90 days of the year on fire, but you might be spinning plates, and you know it's not that sustainable. Probably getting more organized would help you a lot better, and I think it will help everybody, to be fair. So that might be you. So this is going to help you get more organized, it's going to help you get more productive, and it's going to help you measure stuff as well. One thing I've learned over the years is, if you can measure it, then you can improve it. If you don't really know how you got there, then how can you teach it to somebody else? And how can you improve on where you got to? So that's the first thing. The second part is people that have actually gotten to 90 days in of 2018 and been like, wow, what a really shit start to the year. I had all these goals, I had all these dreams, I was going to do this, I was going to do that. I joined the gym, I never turned up. You know, I was going to eat healthy and the fridge is full of bad stuff. I was going to build my business, but I've never got around to it. So this will help you guys as well. By the way, if you want to share this with your team, tag them below. Share it with anybody really that you think is going to get value, because this will be a game changer tonight for a lot of you guys, and it will take you into the next 90-day phase, whether you're getting fit, healthy, building your business, whatever, trying to get more productive. So let me just give you what I've learned over the years. So here's how you can get an extra 24 hours a week. So we have this period really where people are always too busy. They haven't got time to do stuff. One of the number one reasons people don't start an online business is they think they don't have enough time to do it, when the truth is everybody has enough time. The one thing that is equal world over is 24 hours. Doesn't matter where you're from, you know, background, religion, whatever. It doesn't matter. Every single human being gets 24 hours in a day. What you do with those 24 hours is going to shape your future. Whether you use it to take you towards your goal, or whether you use it to take you away from where you want to be. So let me just touch on this. If you can find an extra 4 hours a day, and you do that over 6 days, that will give you 24 hours. Now, I'm not saying you're going to work 24. That isn't what I'm trying to say. What I want you to do is then divide that, and that will actually give you 3 extra working days. Let's say every person that has a job usually works 8 hours a day. So if you divide that 24 by 8 hours, that's giving you 3 extra working days to build your business online, working from home. That's the great thing about it. This isn't a 3 extra working days where you've got to do the daily grind, you've got to do the daily commute. This is a 3 extra working day week where you're sat on the sofa, or you know, sat in the car, or sat on the beach somewhere building your business from your smartphone. As I always say, there has never been a better time to be a human being. There's never been a better time to build a smartphone-based business. It used to be build a business from home. Now it's a phone-based business. You can build it anywhere. Whether, you know, I built business 38,000 feet in the sky, sat on an Emirates flight. I built business, you know, at the beach or at the holiday resort. It doesn't really matter where you are. Everywhere's got coverage now. So you can use this time effectively. All right, let's just go into where you're spending your time and where you're probably wasting the majority of your time. I can tell you two stories. I can tell you about the John Holowati that was a bum, that was lazy, that never really did anything with himself, that played a lot of computer games and just kind of wasted time. Like, you wouldn't believe how much time, and that's why I work so hard now, because I feel like I've got to kind of scrape that back. But here's what I would do, and maybe you can relate to this, and I'll only be open and honest with you guys because I think that's the only way to be. So, how many hours do you waste hungover? You know, we've all been there, right? Sometimes, like, it's 72 hours wasted hungover. I mean, I've had some absolute shockers over the years, especially when Black Sambuca has been involved. So, hangovers, how many days, hours, a week do you waste being hungover? You know, you might not actually be in bed all day, but you might be low productive, you know, high anxiety levels, not really being able to focus on anything, procrastinating, overthinking stuff. Alcohol has that effect on you, so as we know. So how many hours are you wasting hungover or not really operating at 100%? How many hours a week do you waste and lose on social media? So what I'm talking about here is scrolling and rolling, you know, watching stuff that doesn't really, like these guys that just film themselves scaring people, like walking around the supermarket scaring old ladies, and the pranksters and all that. Like, it is funny, don't get me wrong, but once you've watched that, then you watch another one and another one and another one, and then before you know it, like 2 or 3 hours have literally just gone. Like, what have you done with them? The other one that I don't really understand, but some people do, is this whole watching other people's stuff. Like, people say to me all the time, did you see my life? Did you see this? Did you see that? No, I didn't, because I'm too busy running my own fucking life. Like, I haven't got time to be sitting there watching other people live out their dreams and stalking other people's Facebook statuses. I just don't have time for that stuff. I'm too busy building my own dreams to worry about what other people are doing with their time. So either you're wasting time on social media, scrolling and rolling, watching elephants and cats and cucumbers and giraffes and all that kind of crazy stuff that's on there, or you're watching other people live out their lives. YouTube is another one. I mean, I watch a lot of YouTube stuff now that's related to personal development or fitness or nutrition, things that are actually going to take me towards where I want to be. But, you know, we do sometimes get trapped in that kind of YouTube box where we can't get out, and we've ended up watching, you know, funny thing or something to do with your past or some documentary, and before you know it, your time has literally disappeared. So how much time are you wasting with that? Here's the next one. Friends. Now, I'm not saying you waste your time with your friends, but are you doing productive stuff with friends, or are you just hanging around with the same people that you hung around with, doing the same stuff that you've always done, not really getting anywhere fast? Now, you might be really, really happy with that. You might be cool doing that, and that might be your relaxation time. That's totally, totally cool. But if you want to get something different, then you need to do something different. So it might be a case of saying, actually, you know what? I'm going to see you guys once a month now rather than every single week. You know, I'm not going to make this party. I'm not going to make this stag do. I'm not going to make this hen do, because I've got other things that I need to focus on to get where I want to be. And again, a lot of the time that when I was wasting time, I was hanging around with people that weren't really going anywhere, and I wasn't really going anywhere either. And we're like ducks. We just sit floating around the pond, like quacking at each other. Like, that'd be it. Just doing nothing really. So I started to up level. I reduced the amount of time that I was spending with people that weren't going to the places that I want to be. And that's the question you've got to ask yourself, I guess, is, are the people that I'm surrounding myself with going to the place where I want to get to? And if the answer to that is no, then you've probably got to pull back a little bit. I watched the Gary Vaynerchuk video the other day, and he talked about, and it's pretty ruthless, but it's true, drop one loser friend. And I don't mean drop them like say I'm never going to speak to you again, but we've all got those mates that are there for the fun, and they're not really going it, they're not really doing anything. They're just our mates and we love them for that, but we probably spend too much time with them. So what he was saying was, drop one, lose a friend, or move yourself away from that a little bit and bring somebody in that's a go-getter, that's going places where you actually can up-level and you can start to learn from these people and get around the right people that are going where you want to get to. Because of that inspiration, they're going to give you the knowledge, they're going to give you the kind of the arm around the shoulder, but the tough love as well when you need it. I've certainly got friends that do that with me now. So, who are your friends, who are you associating with? Football, this was TV, football, whatever it is. I mean, when I was going nowhere, I was watching Champions League, Premier League, UEFA Cup, you name it. I was watching football every single night of the week. And I was also watching Sky Sports News all the time. I mean, there's probably a lot of girls watching this rather than guys, but if you might be able to relate to this, your husbands or something. Like, I would watch Sky Sports News over and over again, and all it was is a loop show. It would just say the same thing. It would just say the same thing. It would just say the same thing. See what I did there? It would just say the same thing over and over and over again, right? Hour after hour after hour, and I'd be like, oh my God, I've had this on in the background. Like, what am I doing? I'm completely wasting my time. So you might do the same thing with TV. It may be, Made in Chelsea, The Only Way is Essex, whatever, Gogglebox, which is the biggest waste of time ever. You aren't just watching TV, you're watching other people watch TV. Might be box sets. Like, how much TV are you watching? Hobbies, here's another one. So I used to play football at a weekend, and when I realised that I wasn't enjoying it as much as I used to, it wasn't really giving me the value that I wanted in my life, and I certainly had to give up on the dream of making it anywhere decent. I said, actually, doing this now for the whole Saturday isn't going to get me where I want to be in my life, so I'm going to have to remove it. Now, you might be watching this thinking, geez, he's trying to get us to get rid of everything. I'm not trying to do that at all. I'm just trying to get you to ask yourself a question. Are the things that you're doing taking you away from where you really, really want to be long term? And a lot of this stuff is short-term pain for long-term gain, like the long-term strategy, the long-term vision. And I can close this live off with telling you it's worth it. Trust me, I wouldn't have been able to fly my family to Canada for 3 weeks, go whale watching, pay for it all, helicopters, seaplanes, just do amazing things for my parents for the 60th birthday. I wouldn't have been able to do all that if I didn't start making some changes when it comes to this. So it's a little bit like saying, do you want to go out to the same pub every single weekend and do the same thing with the same people every single weekend? Or do you want to pull back a little bit from that, build your business, and then go to Paris for the weekend every 6 weeks? Or go somewhere cool rather than doing the same stuff all the time. So it's a little bit about the short-term sacrifice. I wouldn't even call it a sacrifice, because if you enjoy it, if you love what you do, then, it's like me. They'll be like, it's bank holiday tomorrow, like people are off. I could have gone, there's no Thursday Night Live tonight, forget it, I'm gonna go drinking, whatever. I'm gonna have a night off. But I wanted to do this because I'm passionate about it. I've not come on and gone, I'm just gonna do a quick 5-minute thing. I want to deliver content. I want to give you guys value and quality. So hopefully someone watching this walks away and implements it, even if it's just one of you walks away and implements it, and it has a positive impact, and you drop me a message 5 years down the line and you go, John, that live that you did was a big part in my success. That's all it's about. So the hobbies, maybe you got a question that. Here's another one I can relate to it so much. Computer games, like the amount of hours, time, energy, like frustration, throwing the controller at the wall because you can't get to the next level, like wasted on computer games that I used to do, and I'm only telling you what I used to do. Here's another one that doesn't really relate to me, but it might relate to some of you guys. Getting ready. As you can see, I usually wear pretty much the same colour stuff. And I learned that from studying the top people in the world. Like Zuckerberg doesn't wear a suit every day. He pretty much wears a t-shirt and jeans. Steve Jobs was famous for the polo top. Like, I don't have to waste any time in the morning wondering what I've got to wear. I know I've got it's like Superman. I've got 15 blue t-shirts. Like, there you go. I've got 15 blue t-shirts, a couple of blue hoodies, a few grey things, like pretty basic stuff. Like, because all I know is I don't need to waste time getting ready. I'm up, whether it's gym gear or work gear, whatever. I mean, for me, getting ready, I don't want to waste that much time getting ready. So this time thing, guys, is where you can scrape back a lot of the time, where you can then put into building your dreams. And then it goes back round full circle, so it's back down to drinking at the bottom, which obviously loops back round to the hangover, which to be honest with you, the reason I bookended these, the hangover and the drinking, is because a lot of this stuff relates to the two. Because when you're hungover, then you just sit on the sofa and you're scrolling and rolling on social media. When you're hungover, you don't go and eat a salad, you go and get some bad food and that kind of thing, and that has a knock-on effect. Then you start this guilt thing and you start feeling bad about what you've done and all that kind of stuff. But I'm not saying don't go out and have a drink and enjoy your Easter. I'm just saying remember what you're doing and why you're doing it. So back to this. Some tips for you before I take you through this timetable. The number one thing that I've started to do that's transformed my year is I plan my day. I know what I'm doing every single day. It's pretty much set in stone. There's a bit of variance here and there, but the time I get up is pretty much the same every day. The time I train is pretty much the same every day. The time I eat is pretty much the same every day. The calls that I do, the lives, the business stuff is pretty much the same every single day. Human beings love structure. We thrive off that stuff. So the more structure you can get into your weeks and in your days, the better. When I went off the rails a little bit, and maybe that's another live, probably need about 3 hours for that one. But when I started having major success and things went a little bit crazy and a little bit Wolf of Wall Streety, one of the main reasons for that, and it's only now when I look back, is because I had gone from having total structure to having zero structure. So a lot of the basics that I used to do, I stopped doing. That's why things got out of hand for me a little bit. Thank the Lord, I have brought it all back in line now, and I'm in a really, really good place. So planning your day, planning your week. Something else I will tell you about is called net time. Net stands for no extra time. I think it's a Tony Robbins thing, I might be wrong, but I think that's where I heard about it. It's a very, very simple concept. No extra time means you can do a couple of things and you can add something else to it that doesn't take you any extra in terms of time. So it might be listening to an audiobook while you're unloading the dishwasher. It might be listening to an audiobook while you're driving to work. It might be listening to an audiobook while you're walking on the treadmill or something like that. It might be listening to an audiobook if you're getting ready. I could only listen to a 3-minute audiobook in that time, but you know what? If you are one of these that takes a while to get ready, like, maximize your time. Like, stick your earphones in and listen to some personal development. The next one would be find your passion. So the next tip is, if you're building a business part-time, if you don't really love it and you're not that passionate about it, then all this stuff will get in the way. All this stuff becomes easy to remove if you love what you do. Because I would much rather do this live tonight than play a computer game. I would much rather do this live tonight than watch football on the TV. Like, that was the whole thing for me when I found my passion. And there was a really important football match on. I think it was a championship game in the Euros or something like that. And I got a message off my brother and he said, "Are you watching the match tonight?" And I was like, "No, I've got back-to-back sessions booked in, you know, things are going amazing." And I was like, those guys aren't going to watch me do the sessions, so why should I watch them live out their dreams? Ironically, because I did that, I got to go to the European Championships 2 years ago and watch all 3 England's group games, VIP, sat in the box, little cheeky beer. Amazing experience, even though the team were absolutely terrible. So that's like a very literal short-term sacrifice for a massive long-term gain 2 or 3 years later. And it all relates to that saying, today I'll do what others won't do, so tomorrow I can do what others can't do. The final thing, guys, is exercise. Getting that structure in is going to be really, really important. It allows you to pat yourself on the back. discipline is a really, really cool thing. It's not a negative phrase. It's, you know, it's something like discipline. It's almost got this negative connotation. It shouldn't have, because discipline is the thing that allows you to get results. Discipline is being selfish on your own goals, saying I'm going to be really disciplined because I really want to look after myself. I want to make sure that I hit these targets. So start to see the discipline of exercise and the pat on the back, the endorphin release and all that kind of stuff that you get after doing that will propel you to where you want to go. So these are some of the big things that I've changed. All right, let me take you through this timetable. So you're probably still wondering, like, how do I do it then? Well, let's say most people sleep on average for 6 to 8 hours. So what time do you want to get up? I mean, if you want it badly enough, you'll get up earlier. That's what I would say. If you want it badly enough, you'll get up earlier. Honestly, that any time you can think of where you've needed to do something, like we never ever like getting up at 4 a.m. But if your flight to your holiday leaves at 7, then guess what? You will get up at 4 a.m. and you'll make sure you get to the airport. So if you want it badly enough, you will do whatever it takes. Think back to your assignments when you were at school, or your dissertations, or whatever it was. You had to make yourself do it a lot of the time. You know, and then when you've got 2 days left to write a 5,000 word essay, you know what you do? You get up earlier. You stay up later. So it's all about the choice of two pains. The pain of actually doing the work sometimes, the pain of getting up earlier than you used to, or the pain of missing out on a load of crazy, cool, fun stuff later on down the line. So let's say you don't get up earlier anyway. This is where you're going to get, this is where I would probably say you get extra time on everybody else. This is where you can beat your competitors. So let's say you get up at 6, you get up an hour earlier than you should. Between 7 and 9, you've got stuff like the gym, you're sorting your kids out, breakfast, you're taking them to school, and you're driving to work. So you've got 2 hours there, but you can't really do anything. If you do something, it's probably net time where you're listening to audiobooks or stuff like that, catching up on calls, recordings, that kind of thing. Then you've got work, all right? So work is a 3 hour 30 time period between 9 and 12:30. So let's say you're in one of these jobs where you can't chat to other people. There's just no way on earth you can build your business in between that time. So there isn't any options there. There might be a little bit of, I mean, a tip for you, drink loads of water, go to the toilet a lot. You can probably jump on your phone a few times within that 3.5 hours and crack on a little bit with a bit of business in between. That's a little cheeky tip for you though. Lunch break. All right, here's a dilemma. Do you sit in the canteen gossiping with everybody else, or do you take yourself away and you crack on within your hour's lunch break, where you can be using net time again? You can be eating some healthy food, eating a salad, whatever, and you can be building your business on your phone at the same time. Again, it's the choice of two pains. This is something I used to do a lot when I was personal training. I hardly had any time because I had that many sessions, but when I had my hour for dinner, that's when I probably broke the record for eating salads and stuff like that, or sandwiches. I would literally inhale it and then I'd be on my phone straight away. So it'd be quick, get the energy in, and then straight into using that time as efficiently as I could. All right, then you're back at work. Let's say till 5, so that's 4 hours 30 that you're not going to get back. 5 till 7, you've got evening stuff. So you've got your kids, you know, you're eating, you're getting prepared, all that kind of stuff. And then here's where the magic happens. This time here is between 7 and 11. It's time for building. This is where normally all this stuff comes in, but this is where you make the sacrifice. And if you do this 5 nights a week, and then you just fit in a couple of these hours in the weekends, then you've got your 24 hours, guys. It's as simple as that. So is getting hungover really going to take you where you want to be? Probably not. Is pissing around on social media really going to get you where you want to be? Probably not. YouTube? No. hanging around with the friends that aren't going where you want to, probably not, wasting your time with TV, hobbies. It never gets you where you want to be, guys. Why? Because I've lived those, I've done them, and I wasn't where I wanted to be back then. So what I'm trying to say is earn your rewards. Do you know what I would say? The reward of then seeing your mates when you've done the work that you said you were going to do is so much better than going meeting your mates going, oh God, I know I shouldn't really be going to this because I've not done what I said I was going to do. You know, when you've hit the gym and you've trained and you've got your work done and you've built your business on the side and you've done all this stuff, that beer tastes even sweeter when you've earned it, right? It's the same thing with this. So get really, really focused on it. Plan your day. I know this isn't specific for a lot of you guys, but I wanted to kind of do a general, generic timetable. You might need to change this, but I would map out your own timetable. And it is so, so worth doing, because once you do this from a part-time element, eventually, and here's the crazy cool bit, this starts to disappear, all right? This stuff then disappears, because my story was this. I was full-time personal training and I was building online at the same time, and I just kept working and I just kept using that extra time, reducing the stuff that I was doing that wasn't getting me anywhere, building on the stuff where I wanted to be. And slowly but surely I started earning income. It took a while. It's like getting a jumbo jet off the ground. It took a while, but eventually it got there. And I was earning the same in a month online part-time as I was earning full-time doing 60 hours a week as a personal trainer. And I was like, wow, this is interesting. Maybe if I put even more energy, if I can squeeze a little bit more out of this, then I can earn even more. I can build an even bigger business. But I didn't want to give up that story of part-time, because people didn't really understand, like, you've just got a new car, how can you afford it? You know, you're going on a holiday, how can you do this? Well, because I was building that part-time income in the nooks and crannies of the day, and also giving up the stuff that wasn't getting me where I wanted to be. And then what happened was I started to earn more in a month part-time than I earned in a year full-time. That was the insane story where I was like, you know what? Wow, I've actually gone from doing this part-time to living my dream full-time, working full-time on my passion, on my fortune, doing whatever I want. So guys, it's that sacrifice, it's thinking smart with your time. You're condensing a 30-year career into 3 to 5 years so you can live life on your terms, doing what you want, getting up with a smile on your face, a spring in your step, and doing crazy, cool, amazing stuff. You know what? I might only wear blue all the time, but I still wear it when I get to fly business class because of the stuff that I'm doing. And it isn't really about all that. But what I'm trying to show you guys is that anything is possible if you're willing to work hard enough, if you're willing to put the effort in, and if you're willing to make smart choices around your time. Just like I talked about last week, it's all about decision making. It's all about getting good at decision making, going, is this the right decision for me to get me where I want to be? So that is it, guys. I hope you have got value. Keep working hard, keep chasing those dreams, and I will see you next week at 8 o'clock.